if you are trying to figure out this market, well, you are not alone, because so is everybody else. The news the past couple of days with the yields, the bond yields, have just kind of almost kangarooed, whipsawed us the past couple of days. We had some bad news and the market tanked, and then today bond yield stabilized and all is good again, apparently, because we're up 0.73% on the S&P 500. But don't worry, because we're going to cover all that along with some really key stocks that I think we should be paying attention to and some potential really good entries. So first, I just want to go over the S&P 500 real quick. We said a couple of weeks, maybe even a month or so ago, this is sort of the path we thought that the S&P 500 was going to take on the way down. Reason why is because of the MACD having a pretty big bearish divergence with the S&P 500. Let's get rid of that real quick. Now, keep in mind, there was this little bit here before rejection, so this technically could be the next leg down, and this big sort of prediction that we had here could have been just completely lackluster and just been this little blip, or we could be consolidating. We're not really sure, but that doesn't matter so much because we are mainly just looking at our setup. So if you want to know whether or not this setup is pretty accurate, well, let's take a look right here on the 5th of April when the price of the S&P 500 was 407.44, give or take. That was a buy signal, and we reached as high as 459. And we went on that huge tear there. So just to quickly rehash this, you want the price action to be above this market bias indicator. You want the market bias indicator to be green. So that is all systems go as far as back here. This green and red triangles just represents crossing above and below the zero line on the MACD, which helps determine a bear or bullish sentiment. So you want it to at least have the last triangle be green if you're going to go long. And then you have that blue right here. Let's zoom in. You got the blue 7-period simple moving average and the 25 exponential period moving average. And you want the blue moving average to be above the yellow moving average, just like the RSI and just like the MACD. So I keep it very simple. And then you have the Trendillo right here, which is a newer indicator I've put on the setup here. And it's essentially like all the other oscillators. You want the line right here to be above that zero line, and then in the green for going long and opposite for going short, right? So we had all of those hit on the S&P 500, like I said, back here on the 5th. Now, again, keep in mind, this does repaint a little bit, but it's pretty accurate. I mean, when it turns a color, it might bounce a price or two, or a day or two, or whatever, a week if you're on the weekly time frame, but it'll, for the most part, if it's changing, it's going to change eventually, whether it stays that day or not. So what are we looking for? Well, we said, let me see if this, so I mean, we said exactly this. It's going to come down, and we could see a bounce off of this market bias indicator. The reason why I say that is because the market bias indicator has really been a pretty good support when it is kind of going up. And you can see, like, let's just go back to 2008 real quick. So you can see here, 2008, it was, came down, bounced off of the market bias indicator, came up, came down, bounced off again, came up, bounced off again, came up. And then when it used it as a resistance, it pretty much used it as a resistance all the way down until it started to use it as a support again. And so that is why this is very exciting and very important, going all the way back here, because it did the same thing. Came up, came down, and now it's a resistance, and now it is a support. Maybe, we don't know, and it's exciting to find out, because if this does bounce and we get another green triangle, because right now we're on a red triangle, we get another green triangle, that's going to be an entry position for the S&P 500, which, if you are paying attention to the TQQQs, that could be an awesome buying opportunity, because let's just say it bounced, and let's just say about at 37.89, maybe about, that's when it comes back to the MACD. Actually, just to be conservative, 39.63. So that'd be an entry position. Just to go back to the previous highs, would be 46.86, which would be a pretty significant percentage gains. All right, so let's take a look at Boeing. I want to point out Boeing right here, and you will see why. Now, Boeing is a great plan, or a great ticker to have in your arsenal once, if the market just takes a dive. And right here, we actually have a short position entry. So all systems are go for a short, actually just today. So you are getting some juicy picks right here. So let me explain why. We're red on the market bias indicator. We have the yellow moving average over the blue moving average. You can see that we got literally today, the MACD line crossed below the 0 line. So that is all systems go as far as a short. Now, we are calling out the short on October 2nd of 2023, and it is 188.96. So we're going to follow this. Let's just follow this and see what happens. And then we could do one more. So Bitcoin, actually, I got two more for you. I got another pretty good one. So Bitcoin, so I wanted to cover it real quick because, yeah, it's juicy to get in at 16,000 because right now it's at 28, but we're still under this market bias indicator, and there could very well likely be another leg down before we go back up and before we reach new highs. Google is the other one I wanted to point out to you today, because if we go down to the daily, you're going to see a very nice bounce right here. Now, again, it's overvalued, but it was overvalued right here, and that was at 124, 125, and it reached all the way up to 139. Could be some pretty decent spreads on there, or just some nice little pocket change, buy yourself a couple beers. Actually, nowadays it was one beer. But we have a great entry right here. Okay, so play it safe. I mean, put a stop loss below right over here. Put one, 126. It's worth it. So that's all I got for you. If you like this content, want to see more, hit the like button. Easiest way to help on the channel. Just like everyone else on YouTube that talks about stocks and the stock market, I'm just some guy on YouTube giving my opinion. So tread lightly, do your own research. I would really like if you hit the subscription button and hit the notification bell on so you can see all of my latest content. Check it out, see if you like it. Till then, see you next time. Thanks.